Salad and I saw Fistful of Dollars. It is directed by Sergio Leone. It's based on Yojimbo. And if you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This was requested by a Patreon. If you'd like to fast track a movie review, you can do that at patreon.com/ASEPresents. On with the review. Before the review though, have you seen my Yojimbo review? Check that out. Now actually on with the review. This movie starts, we're following a stranger. He's got a cool poncho. I really want his poncho. I wish I had a poncho for this review, but I don't own one. This guy walks into town. There's a feud between the Rojos and the Baxters. And you know what this guy is gonna do? He's gonna come in and be like, oh, well, it's time for me to start shooting people. Pow, I gotta show my skills. Dude, he's so good. Has his pistol. He just he just murders everyone. I'm like, whoa! How'd you do that? How many years does it take for you to get so good at gunning that you can just do that? I want to know his past immediately. Tell me more. But this movie doesn't really touch upon his past that much. He's just a mysterious man. That's the entire point of the movie, is that he's just big old mysterious man. But we got the Rojos and the Baxters. They don't really know what's going on until it's a little bit too late. Let's pit each other against each other. Let's pit these two people against each other, says the stranger man. He just kind of does it in a very subtle way. He walks around, he's like, I'm walking around, and then whenever conflict arises, and he's like, pow, 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 murdered. But also, I like the part in which the Rojos are like, oh, I got your plan, bro. We see your plan. We're gonna kidnap you. We're gonna beat you up, and then we're gonna spit you back out. And then there seems to be a fun conflict between the Baxters and the Rojos at this point because, wow, there's just so many people just being murdered by the Rojos. Oh, he must have taken this guy asylum, right? Also, I'm flying through this pretty quick because, honestly, the part that I really like about the movie is, even though there's very few story beats in this movie, it's so paced out well. The movie builds the tension. There's a lot of close-up shots of the stranger. He's like, oh, this guy's intimidating. And then a lot of close-up shots of the other dudes and oh, these guys are intimidating. We're in the big old Mexican standoff. And that's what the most of the movie is, not gonna lie, between the plot points that I just said, because I'm actually pretty much at the third act already that I just mentioned. But wow, there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of conversations that I skipped, but the conversations goes as this. Oh, we got the Rojos and the Baxters. They're stirring up trouble. You know, there's actually not much of that. Compared to Yojimbo, I think I liked it better in Yojimbo because there's that guy who walks into town, and then there's this old man who's complaining about the noise, and then this guy just walks into town and is like, okay, I'll deal with it. There's none of that from the stranger. The stranger just walks into town and is like, oh, there's these guys are messing with me. They think they can be tough. You think they can just be tough? Oh, 3 men just gonna walk up on me. Oh, we got some guns, okay? Well, I'll show you. And then the stranger, and I thought it was pretty freaking rad. And does the same thing with the Baxters. He notices there's some gold in a barrel. He's like, oh, there's gold in the barrel. Oh, there's somebody coming. I better walk away. Better hide. And bam, I better knock this woman unconscious. I'm like, oh no, what about the gold, man? Not the gold. What are you gonna, I should think you should steal some gold, personally. But I do like how he doesn't. He instead feels obligated to carry this woman away. And that's pretty much how he gets caught by the Rojos, is he carries the woman away and they're like, ah, you killed some of our men, we're gonna steal you. Here's my favorite part of the movie, is when the stranger is crawling away from the Rojos. The Rojos like, where'd it go, where'd it go, where'd it go? Oh, where'd it go? Oh, we gotta search everywhere. And they're searching literally everywhere, except for where an injured man who is crawling would crawl. He's underneath this deck. He's around the corner Oh, where'd he go? He must have some really, really big powers to be able to magically just kill everyone. And it's just fun because he doesn't. They're putting way too much estimation on his ability to do anything when he's in an injured state. They're like, oh, he's the magical boogeyman. That's pretty weird. He keeps on crawling, and no one finds him. And I like this. He goes to the casket maker. This is this thing that also holds in Yojimbo. This is the thing that happens in Yojimbo. There's a casket maker. I recognize this. I was like, oh, I've seen this from somewhere. I can't remember where I saw this from. But then I looked it up and it's Yojimbo. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I remember this scene from Yojimbo when he talks to the casket maker. He's like, oh, put me in a casket, please. Let me hide. Let me just walk away. No one will ever suspect the casket maker, man. I love it. He just gets out of town, and we have these guys just shooting up each other, full out war. And I'm like, I love it. I'm such a big fan. And then he has to go back after he's all healed up. He goes back, and we gotta face the leader. We gotta face the leader with the rifle. I like this. At the very beginning, it was established, if you meet a man with like a pistol versus a rifle man, who would win? I think the rifle man would win all the time. I'm definitely butchering the line, but I do like this a lot. I did like this a lot. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Obviously, Stranger's gonna win against his rifle. How is he gonna do it? Well, I do like showing the sequence in which he's shooting guns. He's shooting bullets through this particular metal. He's like, oh, I'm gonna use this to protect my heart because this rifleman's really good at shooting through the heart. And so he goes into town, he taunts the rifleman to shoot him, and he's just like stumbling around like he's falling. But he makes it so the rifleman is all out of shots, and then have to reach down, grab their guns, put in a shot, but the pistol man is faster and he kills the rifleman. I'm like, yeah! Kills all opposition, kills all the people, all the Rojos, all the Baxters. Well, they did it to themselves, honestly. I liked it a lot. I really liked this plan, and then the Stranger's like, adios, and then leaves. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. Here's some Yojimbo similarities. When we get to the point where he's just tearing all this stuff down, very much like in Yojimbo, when he assaults all those men, and then he tears all the things down and like to this particular house because he unkidnaps a lady who got kidnapped, separated from their family. And I'm like, oh man, this is sad, but this is like one small gesture that he does. I guess in Yojimbo, the guy never really unkidnapped someone. So that's different. This one, he unkidnapped someone, which I find notable. I'm like, this is different, I like it. And I like that this guy is just so clever. He's big old clever brain. He's able to outwit his enemies. Oh, they did it. Them Baxters did it. They did this to us. And then let's just start shooting everyone in the Baxters. They all file out of the door, and it makes it easy target practice. And also, I do like there's a big old fire. I'm like, wow, I like it. There's so much fire. I really like this movie. This movie's pacing is great. This movie's tension building is great. And I am on the Stranger side the entire time. I want everyone else to die in this movie except for the Stranger. And I'm talking, including the lady that got kidnapped. I hope that they somehow froze or something. But if they didn't, that's also fine too. It's their lovely family. I'm glad that their family is back together. So I like this movie for that. This is a very fun movie. I can see why this is a very classic movie, why people like this movie so much, because it is nice and well-paced. However, I do have to say, I like Yojimbo a little bit more. I found that the Yojimbo had a little bit more, it's more iconic, like shots, very iconic shots. And this one, you still got the iconic shots of him like being really close up, and also the low angle camera angles of him just towering there, being in his what is it called? It's a poncho. He's in his poncho, and I like that. It's also a very iconic look for him. He's just in his poncho. I'm like, yeah, this is really cool. I like this a lot. But, you know, there's a little bit less than Yojimbo, but this is still a really good movie. I like this movie a lot. I like the acting of everyone involved. I like the set piece. I like that we're dealing with a bunch of cowboys. And these cowboys are roughing and toughing and need somebody to teach them a lesson, and they get taught a lesson by a stranger. And like, yeah! Although I would like to know a little bit more about what these Rojos and these Baxters are doing before the stranger walks into town. I mean, we get a little bit of their demeanor by the way that they approach the stranger when he first walks into town. They just think they just own the town. They're like, huh, yeah, we own the town. Yeah, okay. So I get it. They're a bunch of douches. They're a bunch of douche canoes. But I'd like to learn a little bit more about what wrongs they did to the town. So that's just my only note. But otherwise, I really like this film a lot. I gotta give this movie, it's a solid 7.7 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one. The platform really likes that. If you want a fast track movie review, you can do that for $20. Read us at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if like helps with the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews, go to this link tree on the way. You can help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews, so you can go here. And until next time, mint salad sauce. See you later, my salad croutons and bacon bits.